Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Geeks Around. My name is DeAno Jackson, and I'm your executive producer. We are, of course, here to talk about Breaking Bad, episode 512. Two things before we get started. Number one, I apologize that I wasn't here last week. Situation beyond my control, but Matt held it down very, very well for us last week. Thanks a lot for that one, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. It was awesome to do it.
Right on. And the second thing, and this one's important for all you viewers out there, the Breaking Bad series is going to be the last Geeks Around series to appear on my YouTube channel. Starting later on this month with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. discussion, which will be hosted by Matt Moore, you will find all future Geeks Around discussion videos on the official YouTube channel for Geeks Around, which is at youtube.com/geeksaround. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Having said all that, let's get to it. Joining me, as always, of course, the aforementioned Matt Moore. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. You mentioned Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm kind of giddy inside now that you said that. I'm really looking forward to that. Like, really.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. It's scary how close the shows are at this point. Also joining us, Isaiah Mullens. What's going on, man?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Lovely holiday I'm having, and hope you guys are having a great holiday.
Yeah, I gotta love a 3-day weekend. Todd Grundle, what's going on, brother?
How you doing? Not well. 4 episodes left. Not happy.
Yeah, that's true. we are about to wrap this up, but it's like I am looking forward to seeing how it ends. And after this episode, things just turned in an entirely new direction as a bunch of things happened that I did not expect. I mean, let's just go ahead and jump into it. It's like, well, first off, it's like, what did you guys think of this episode?
I personally thought that it was the weakest of the episodes since the break, but that's actually still saying a lot because it was an awesome episode. It just wasn't. It was a 9.5 where every other episode was a 10.
I agree 1,000-fold on that. I was just telling Johann, who's normally with us, I was just telling him a few minutes ago the same thought.
Yeah, not entirely wrong. It's like it's difficult for something to be completely balls to the wall the entire time. This one, I agree, is like it was a step down, but that still puts it head and shoulders above anything else on TV right now.
I would have to slightly disagree with some of you guys. I really like the episode.
As long as it's not the best
did a
thing
lot
on
of
TV
twists
thing.
and turns.
Can't disagree with that one.
Right, it did a lot of twists and turns. Like, it was just so many twists and turns that I never saw coming, which still got me excited. So I still like this episode, like the rest. So I still like this episode. It wasn't weak in my book, but I still liked it overall.
I truly think that the only show on TV, and it hasn't been on TV in a couple years because that's how long the breaks are. Only thing as good is Sherlock, the BBC version of Sherlock.
Is it that good, really? I
yes.
saw an episode, and I loved it. One episode I saw a few years ago, and I loved it, but I just don't have time for new stuff.
Well, it's like, there's only like 3 or 4 episodes in every series?
Three episodes, but they're an hour and a half long.
True.
Damn.
So 4.5 hours, that's 9 episodes of a half hour show.
Well, I'm sold now.
Yeah, you got to go check it out. For any of y'all watching, if y'all are on Netflix, it's on there. It's like, I'm not sure about Amazon Prime, but I know it's definitely on Netflix, both current seasons of Sherlock.
Yes.
Do you really want to check it out? But getting back into things, let's just go ahead and kick this thing off from the beginning. At the end of the last episode, Jesse finally figured out the truth over what happened to Brock. He didn't exactly figure out the correct method in which it happened, but he knew finally who was responsible, and he kind of took offense to that and went to huff and puff and burn down Walt's house.
Yeah, and we ended last episode, or we started this episode thinking that he had just walked away from it on his own, and that he had just changed his mind, and that isn't exactly the case.
Yeah, we had Walt coming in looking for him. He knew something was iffy. Came in with a gun that honestly I would be surprised if it even worked.
Did you hear that, Todd? He did it too.
He did what?
He did it too. You just called Hank Walt.
I did?
Really?
You did.
Yeah, you did.
Oops.
That's okay. I did it like 4 times.
That was a good intro. Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat with that scene, like Walter just going to his house looking for Jesse. Like, I mean, that was so heart pounding. Like, oh man, will he find him? Will he not? Ooh, it was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? That was a really good intro.
They got me on this twist. I won't tell you say it yet, but that's they got me on that twist. I thought he was somewhere way else.
Yeah, that bit I definitely did not see coming. After Walt goes ahead and clears out the house, figures out he's not there, but definitely figures out, well, there's gasoline everywhere. That is funny. It's like, and then Walt's absolutely ridiculous excuse that he tried selling to Skylar and Walt Jr. about, what do you say? A pump malfunction?
Yes.
Yeah.
All over my groin.
All over my
what
clothes.
I can't figure out
take them off.
is how is a pump malfunction? How is him being covered in gasoline going to get gasoline over the entire fucking house?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
a big pothole. Like,
for real.
No, he left his clothes on the carpet, soaking in the whole time.
Absolutely. It's like, see, his clothes were made out of sponges, and they just kind of soaked up all the gasoline. Oh, wait a second. No, okay,
right.
So the pants were plastic, so they actually held gasoline on the inside of them, like like MC Hammer pants, only rubber, right? So he had all the gasoline in there.
His genie.
Exactly. So yeah. Then as he was going through the house, still covered in gasoline because that seems like a good idea. That's how it got all over the carpet. Right. Come on, man. It's like I've
the worst Walt lie ever.
I've given Skylar a lot of shit, but even she's not that fucking stupid.
Fucking Walt Jr. isn't that fucking
I saw her face.
Yeah, it's like you saw the look on their faces. They're like,
that's too much bullshit.
Yeah. They were just not buying what he was selling at all because, they do have some semblance of common sense and rationality. And they can tell when the story's that much bullshit. Yeah.
It was too complicated for him to get. Like, that makes no sense. Like, you took your clothes off and they soaked up in the carpet. Like, dude, that makes no sense. Why didn't you tell no one to have gas malfunction in the first place? And then it was just so crazy. It was too complicated for them to actually get. Like,
there were so many holes in his story. He even said, he could have hosed himself off outside before he went into the house, But that was, I think that's probably their point, is that he's I don't know, he's not good at lying.
Well,
his lying is telling
to his family.
To his family, yeah, that's what I meant.
No, I think more of the point here is that Walt's kind of falling apart at this point. It's like he's having trouble keeping the whole situation together. This is the episode where I think he started finally understanding where he is not as in charge of the situation as I'm sure he would like to be.
He's definitely been playing a character since the beginning of 5B. He's been playing a character of Walt Fring, this Mr. Happy businessman thing, and that character is starting to break up. I'm giving spoilers to someone who hasn't seen it yet, who just came home. I'll be more vague from now on. Please forgive me, everyone.
I'm sure they'll forgive you. Before we move on, let's go ahead and bring Johann on the show.
Don't do it.
Johann, welcome to the party.
He's trouble.
Hey, sorry for being late.
Oh, no worries, man. Better late than never.
Right? Yes, I am here now. Yeah, so where are we in the episode so far, in the conversation?
Well, we're just now getting to the part where after Walt has moved his family into the hotel, where he's meeting with Kubi and Saul, and Saul's trying to convince him, was like, you just might want to, old Yeller his ass.
Oh yeah, right. Saul, you're full of colorful metaphors.
When is it going to come out? When is Saul himself going to realize that he's kind of one of the most powerful characters on the show, he's kind of the one who puts it all together, and he's more of a gangster than a lawyer. I wonder if he fully realizes that, or if he believes his own lie.
I mean, when Walt dies, he'll understand that, but I don't think he understands that now, because since the Jesse issue is becoming so massively huge, they can't think right now. They have to deal with Jesse more than anything else. So,
I think Saul's pretty happy just being the guy on the side. He doesn't want to be like, the big bad and everything, because you can just look at everyone else and see how much trouble that brings you.
But that's what I'm suggesting.
Find a guy on the side with all the connections, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think Saul enjoys being at a third-person perspective.
But I'm thinking he thinks he's in a third person, but he's really more like a first person. None of these things could have happened without him. He's got all the connections. He's got all this. Yeah, Walt pays for it, but just like Todd's uncle, I mean, they're the real dangers. Todd's uncle, Saul, people like that. I would just wonder, if he believes that. Or if he...
I honestly wouldn't think so. It's like he's comfortable in the position that he's in. It's like other people take the risk. He might not make as much money as they do, but there's considerable less risk to being in his position.
Well, that wasn't.
He's like the safety net, really. He's a safety net for the characters.
That was until Jesse decided that he didn't like him.
Go ape shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he loves him deep down in his heart.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But it's like we still have, even after Saul makes that suggestion, Walt categorically saying absolutely not to that, and being very clear that Saul might not want to bring that up again.
Well, that's just it. Is
right,
up until
Walt,
this point, we're kind of on board with what everybody has been saying, in that Jesse is going to die unless he leaves. And that's what Walt was going to do. I mean, Walt had no choice but to take out Jesse. And now we kind of find out that Walt probably wouldn't have done it. Well, until Jesse threatened him. But
yeah,
he has more.
Yeah, I don't think he would have done it beforehand.
But we see that. Yeah, but we see how Jesse. We see how Walt and see how Walt actually feels for Jesse. I mean, like not in the whole he's playing type of situation. He has real feelings, like a real passion for Jesse, like a father and son way, because he said he wouldn't go that far until that very ending we saw.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and even like a little bit later on, when Walt finally confesses to Skylar what's going on, and she suggests to him the exact same thing Saul did, and he's still like extremely hesitant here. It's like, no, it's like that's not something I want to do. I don't want to kill him. He's no threat. He thought about burning the house, but he didn't. That's the important thing. He decided not to, or at least, as far as Walt knew at the time, he decided not to. And that's when the major twist comes in. That we find out that there was no deciding not to. Jesse ran into Hank there, and Hank brought him out.
Yes.
That dropped. That made me go cold. That shocked me, man. They did good on that one.
Yeah. That was a great twist.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Now we have what has to be
well planned twist.
Oh, absolutely. So now you have in Breaking Bad what's the most unlikely association here, working together to try to take down Walt. It's just, I did not see this one coming. I didn't. It's like I really wouldn't think that after you guys remember when Hank decided to pretty much use Jesse as a punching bag a few seasons ago over something that, by the way, wasn't his fault.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of made you think that Jesse would not rat under any circumstances whatsoever. I mean, anything, but maybe not so much.
I guess it was, in this case, a sort of enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I actually think Hank even said that line somewhere in the midst of that. Oh, wait a second. No, never mind. He didn't. Sorry. Okay, all right. I'll explain that. I kind of got it confused for a second. I'm also watching Under the Dome, which Dean Norris is also on. That's when he said this line. Ignore me.
I can't wait to see that show. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, great show.
It's called Under the Dome because he's bald.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
But yeah, another great show. All y'all should check it out. But yeah, I mean, to the point of this partnership, would any of you have ever imagined that a point would come up when Jesse is crashing at Hank's house?
That was actually.
No.
I was gonna say that scene was actually there's a lot more to that scene than is overt. Like for example, when Jesse comes out of the room, first off, Marie's there, and Marie could have been like, yeah, I don't like you, but you're here. No, she went, hey, you want some coffee? I mean, she was like stoked. And then he goes out there, and you have Hank hanging out with his partner Cesar Gomez, and that was a major thing. Because all of a sudden, this means Hank finally told somebody what is going on.
Yeah, I was probably as uncomfortable as Jesse was when he walked out there and we all saw Gomez sitting there. I felt that stern look of an authoritarian. It's just like, you're screwed. You're half. Did you guys notice something else? Now, mind you, I think we've all agreed this is the greatest show on TV, perhaps. I think it's also pretty close. A call out there. There's another great show from the past. Did anybody else notice their tribute to that show in that scene?
What show?
I don't want to say if you didn't, because it was something on the bookshelf. It was on the bookshelf.
I know what Todd's talking about. It's when DVD, Jesse's leaning up against the bookshelf. It's a DVD box out of Deadwood.
The complete series.
The complete series. Yeah.
Like right there, center frame, perfect for seeing. I thought that was pretty cool because it was like this is the greatest show, and I hold it up there with Deadwood, even though Deadwood ended the way it did.
I don't even remember Deadwood at all.
Really? Did you watch it?
I never saw it.
Oh, I don't understand that. That is, you guys will love it. If you love this, I think you'd love that. I hated Cowboys beforehand.
Well, viewers, I guess you guys are getting a whole bunch of shows you should be watching right now.
Well, we got episodes left. I mean, we got to start planning the future.
Cowboys have what?
Time the Book of Pure Evil, anyone?
I still got Hannibal, so I'm still good. As long as I got Hannibal, we're good for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we've got Jesse's full confession on tape. So now all the things that Hank thought he knew, he now knows for sure. I mean, it's like just imagine that, just going back through the entire last year in the rise of Heisenberg. He now knows everything Jesse knows, which is damn near everything with a few notable exemptions.
I don't think Gale is exempted. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, like, Jesse has watched TV in the past, right? He knows that you don't give a full confession like that without some sort of amnesty. Why didn't he work that out beforehand? Or even, like, ask for it or mention it?
No.
Honestly, I was like, I don't even
going over that with
care.
That's the first thing I would ask for. I would have been like, you know what? I'll tell my story. I'll tell the whole freaking thing. But I need to, like, you say you're going to take care of me, but I don't have anything in writing. I don't know that you're going to take care of me.
But yeah, I'd have done the same thing. I would have asked for full immunity. But
and Jesse is smart enough to think of that. I mean, he pulled off the fucking magnet with him.
Yeah, but Jesse is also really
magnets, bitch.
And he also made for the cartel, so that's another big thing too. Like, I made meth for the cartel as well. So can I get immunity on that too? No? Yes? No?
Well, the stuff he did for the cartel, he didn't do in the United States, right? I mean, he actually went to Mexico for that, so he's pretty safe for that one anyway.
Yeah, but there's so many crimes Jesse did with Walt.
Yeah.
He was like, oh man, wow.
Yeah, up to and including murder. It's like I wonder if he actually told him that bit. It's like because I would have loved to see Hank's reaction when Jesse said that he was the one that pulled the trigger on Gale.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he did. I was thinking about that on my way inside, just on my way to this hangout. I think he did say it because later on Hank says, oh yeah, do I care about this junkie murderer dribbling all over my bathroom floor right now? You know, so that made I thought about that. And he probably had to tell him what other murder could there be that he's accusing him of.
Also, speaking of Hank has been getting more and more ruthless to getting Walter. Getting Walter on these crimes more than ever. Like he's really with Jesse's life if it was a setup to meet Mr. White out in public. Like he doesn't. He's got his own confession on tape, but I'm just seeing more and more ruthlessness and more not giving a fuck what people's lives are on.
Well, Marie wants to poison him.
Oh yeah.
Well,
You know?
and that's it. Is the episode name was Rabid Dog, and everyone assumed that would be Jesse. When in honesty, yeah, it very well could be Hank.
They're all rabid dogs right now. Every single one of them. Skylar's a rabid dog. Every one of them. They all want to kill. Except he wants. He's rabid for pancakes. Pancakes. Rabid.
Hey,
Y'all are
speaking
nuts.
of rabid dogs, my dog's biting my pants right now. They're all out for each other's blood pretty much. I mean, but Walt, I think, is still keeping a level head. I don't think he wants to go to that extreme, but they're really leaving him no choice at this point.
Heisenberg came out, really. Heisenberg said, "Yep, we can kind of kill everybody else. Do it."
Heisenberg better get out and stay out from now on. 4 episodes left.
He has to. He's to survive.
Well, okay. I was watching Talking Dead, and they were talking about they can't give spoilers for future episodes.
Talking bad, not Talking Dead.
Sorry, Talking Bad. Thank you. And they were talking about how Skylar would never be a victim. They wrote her to never be a victim. That she's supposed to turn into Mrs. Heisenberg or Mrs. Heisenberg, and she showed that this episode. I mean, her family was threatened. Yeah. She's all like, "Kill the fucker. He's your best friend. I don't care. Kill him."
Yep.
What's one more? What's one more?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
but how far do you think even she's willing to go? It's like, I mean, because it's not just. I mean, there's some kid that's a threat to them, but it's also her own sister.
Yeah.
Are you asking how far? Like, is she going to want Walt to kill Hank and her sister? Do you think? Nice shirt, by the way. Just noticed it, DeAno.
Thank you.
Very far. I say very far because she had a serious look on her face when she said about Jesse. Like, wow, that's some scary look. And so I think she would go that far because her family is what matters to her. They're more of a factor to her than
but her sister is also a member of her family, so.
But however, she won't try to take her child, so that kind of changed a little bit.
That's another point. Is that everybody here keeps saying that the reason they're doing what they do is because of family, when ultimately everything that they do is selfish.
Basically, yeah. It's an illusion, really. Everything's based on an illusion for them. Everything's just an illusion. Like they're doing something good for somebody else, but it's actually for themselves. It's just an illusion, a big illusion to help them cope with what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
It's sad, but
all right. So now we get kind of to the end game here. All right, so now we kind of get to the end game here, where we have the big meeting at the end. I almost did it again. Walt leaves a message for Jesse saying that he wants to meet him out in a public place, and
too many messages.
Well, and of course Hank wants to wire him up and send him out there, but Jesse's pretty scared because he knows exactly how dangerous Heisenberg is.
What's funny is Hank's lie to Jesse was actually the truth. Like, Hank thought it was a lie, but it actually was very true, that Walter does care for Jesse, and Walter wasn't planning on killing him, and Walter did want to salvage the friendship. And Hank said it as if it were a lie, but in actuality, it was very much true. And even Jesse thought that it was a lie.
Jesse's very paranoid to state in mind. He's paranoid. He says he's destroyed his mindset because he can't trust nobody anymore. He has no trust factor. He has nothing really. So why would he trust Walter White or Heisenberg really anymore?
You know what really helps with paranoia? Coming down from cocaine use. That always helps with paranoia every time.
It definitely doesn't hurt.
That was obviously sarcasm, but yes. Yeah, I mean, he's coming down, and he thinks this guy's gonna kill him before he starts doing drugs, or maybe it was meth. Yeah. I don't know. It looked like cocaine on the CD.
Yeah, look like he was on drugs.
Yes, it was a white powder. It was not the blue powder. That would.
Yeah, there's that too. But
yes.
But we never go back to that. Well, we never go back to that CD yet, which is odd. Like we didn't go back to the CD yet. We was on the CD. We never got to that point, but that's just me.
Can I just say that you don't do drugs on CDs because you'd scratch up the CD? You do them on CD cases. Not that I would know from personal.
You got a good point there, Matt.
All right, kids, and now you know.
G.I. Joe.
Oh, damn it, you screwed it up. Someone was supposed to say annoying was half the battle before that.
I was about to, but then I thought it might be a little too tacky.
That was the point!
I should totally do that. I should do that as a web series, like give advice for like breaking the law, and then follow it up with the G.I. Joe thing.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
Or like the NBC, the more you know.
Remember, kid, when you're taking ecstasy, make sure you have at least 3 bottles of water because it's going to be 6 hours before you start coming down. And the more you know.
Yes.
All right. Okay, no more drug tips.
Right.
I'm gonna get flagged on YouTube. It's like they're promoting drugs and doing drugs and paraphernalia. It's like, fuck me, dude.
Oh my.
All right, so this whole meeting in this public place goes sideways, mainly because Jesse accidentally pings just someone who was just happened to being there as a hitman. Which is like, I mean, I gotta give him credit. It's like, I mean, dude was looking fairly hitmanish.
Yeah, but I thought that was really I thought that was just Jesse's paranoia taking over, because really, honestly, if Walt was gonna hire a hitman to kill Jesse right there, I don't think he would have him stand right next to him.
Of course
not. That's kind of silly. Very silly. Like, come on.
Yeah, like. Seriously.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, because Jesse isn't exactly thinking with an open mind at this point. It's like, I mean, come on. We just saw him at first trying to burn down Walt's house.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not a man that's thinking of the future. We've seen him this season throwing money away, doing all sorts of crazy crap. He doesn't care at this point what happens to him.
He does want to live, though. I mean, that is his one thing, and
he's being stupid about it. How to live?
Yeah, if he wants to live, he is not showing that.
Well, that's just it.
No, he's not. He's just doing.
When he was in the car with Hank on the way to Hank's house, he basically laughed at the idea of witness protection. It was the last thing he said right before they cut the scene. DCP or whatever. You put me in DCP. Yeah, that'll work.
Right.
Like
but
he actually
knows
witness protection and says that yeah, I'm dead.
What do you think? It was something like, you know, after everything is said and done, that he would go for the idea of WITSEC?
Probably. No.
That's just it. Is I don't think Walter White is this, at least he was this drug czar, as it were. But I don't think he has that much of a reach. I think if Jesse went as far as, say, Arkansas, Walter White couldn't do crap about it. And Arkansas is really not that far.
I'm sure there's a Saul Goodman or a Saul Goodman associate in Arkansas.
Exactly. I mean,
Walt's
if
got
he
the
were to go to
money.
New York or Florida or fucking East Coast, there's nothing Walter White could do.
I would still have
right.
I would still want to disagree with that. I think if he's got the money, he's got what he doesn't have any power himself. That's why I said again, Saul is such a powerful character. Or Mike was powerful. Or Todd's uncle. They're the ones, the real dangers.
Well, Gus was powerful character too.
Walt just has money, and as long as he has that money, there will always be people like this to do his dirty work. I think.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Well, if you look at Gus, for a good example, Gus was like all powerful. He had connections. He could do pretty much anything he wants. Because you see how his empire, and see how it fall too. It was very humongous. Walt doesn't have that type of empire at all. Because remember he got the game. And sorry,
yeah, if Walt can't find Jesse in New Mexico, which Jesse was in the same freaking neighborhood, then how's he gonna find him in another state?
That's a good question.
Because Hank had him, he wasn't anywhere to be found. I mean, if he's somewhere to be found besides the police, if he's at the police, the game's over. So if the game's still running and he's out there, he'd probably be found. Well, I guess maybe if he was gone, dipped off into the city, and maybe he couldn't find him. But I'd like to think.
I don't see why you couldn't find him using that phone, using that Hello Kitty phone.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
I'm
because
sure you could track him with that.
That's because he shot fucking Mike.
I think those phones are untraceable when Saul Goodman gave him that phone. I think those phones are untraceable. Plus, he's with Hank and Hank's friend, who were pretty low key. We didn't tell the department about Jesse whatsoever. So keep him out of the circle or out of the loop from the police department. So making sure he wasn't there. Remember, Saul Goodman got people in the police department as well.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, they gotta keep him out a big long range of how out of him out of the circle. So I think that seems reasonable because remember, Hank knows how to hide people. Or in a sense.
It's entirely feasible. Okay, so after seeing this hitman, Jesse decides not to do the meet and instead simply uses a payphone to call and threaten Walt. And Walt's reply to that is to, it sounds like he's changed his mind on this whole not putting a hit on Jesse thing.
Yes, that would appear to be the situation with the phone call we made.
But there's a big issue with that scene. Where the hell do you find a payphone?
Yeah, I was saying the same thing when I saw that scene. I was like, what the hell? They still have payphones? I was like,
I guess none of y'all have been to Albuquerque.
I think it's easier to find a carrier pigeon in this day and age than it is to find a payphone.
So none of you have been to Albuquerque.
Are there payphones in Albuquerque?
Apparently not.
They are not hard to find at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh God.
Yeah, not even
man.
Wow. So that part, yeah, pretty accurate.
Okay. But he wasn't very smart about it. He has zero idea about whether or not Hank actually wants to kill him or not, or Walt wants to kill him or not. See, there we go. And I mean,
now we're all going to be doing that.
And I mean, he is completely positive that Walt is going to kill him, enough that he realizes that threatening him isn't going to hurt in any way whatsoever. Because what's Walt going to do? Kill him twice?
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm also very interested. The one thing Jesse said, because obviously Hank was very, very pissed off that he just kind of blew this whole, wearing the wire thing. And Jesse said, seemingly pretty confidently, that he has a better plan in mind. And we all know, we said it earlier, Jesse's smart.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's not
smart.
Book smart, but he is cunning and very, very street smart.
He's very street smart.
I'm curious to see what he's plotting.
Maybe a ricing job.
Yeah, right.
I think at this point, if Jesse kicked back and did absolutely nothing, that would be a good plan. Because Walter White is going to be expecting something, and he's going to end up screwing up because of it.
One of our Google Plus commenters, Antonio, also wanted to weigh in on the whole payphone thing. He's down there in Atlanta, And he says, sadly, yes, I've seen them all over the place here.
I think I live in New Jersey. I think I've seen like 2 in the past 5 years.
I see dozens of them in New Jersey, but they're all empty. And they're full
That's my same as that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're free. Campuses.
Oh, it's like here in Reno, I see them all the time, but they're like mostly inside of casinos and whatnot.
Right. I think they have some in the mall, I think, by me.
Yeah, and the malls. The malls will have them.
Yeah.
Oh, and by bus stops. You'll see them by bus stop or by bus terminals.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wow.
But in any case, back to
I'm gonna go on a scavenger hunt looking for payphones now.
Yeah, really. Okay, we got 4 episodes left in Breaking Bad. It is now wild speculation time. Who's got something?
I got something.
All right, go for
Who
it.
here has seen The Usual Suspects? Victor
come
Soze?
on.
Victor Soze? Come on. Okay.
Kaiser, by the way.
Kaiser Soze. Basically, the story is that the invalid, like, dumb guy is actually the non-invalid, very smart guy. I think Walt Jr. is working with Saul on the side, and somehow Walt Jr. is manipulating things. It's a fucking wild speculation. Walt Jr. is the ultimate bad guy.
Walt Jr. is the real Heisenberg.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's a hell of a wild speculation.
The last episode, he's just like, I planned it all. I did everything.
Yeah,
I
all of a
was
sudden.
there every step of the way, Dad.
No. The last episode, you see him walking down the street with his crutches, and all of a sudden he drops the crutches, strolls up to a sports car.
Ferrari. Yeah. To a Ferrari. Supermodel sitting next to him and shit.
Yeah, he's got a perfect suspect right there.
He takes off like his teenage clothes and he's got like an Armani suit on and shit.
Oh man, the suspect that got away.
That would be fucking fantastic.
That would be great.
That'd be great.
I would be like, this is really the greatest show ever.
Yeah. It's like I'll be honest. It's like I wouldn't even be mad at that. That would be awesome. You viewers, I want you guys to comment and tell me what you think of that. It's like that is an awesome wild speculation. Yes, Walt Jr. is fucking Kaiser Soze this shit. The mastermind behind everything. That we've described for you. Spoilers! Exactly how the last episode was going to end. Walking down the street, drops the crutches, gets into a Ferrari, Superman next to him, peels the fuck out. That's the last episode of Breaking Bad, right there.
Credits. No. It fades to black, then credits.
I can see that'd be a good ending. Walt Jr., the real Heisenberg.
Yeah,
for real. And there's your spin-off show. There's your Breaking Bad spin-off show right there. The show would just be called Walt Jr. and underneath it, the continuing tales of Heisenberg.
Right.
Anybody else got any wild speculation?
No.
Yeah. See Skyler get snapped again.
Okay, in lieu of wild speculation,
I have one.
This is something we'll do for every week until it becomes pretty obvious. But it's like we got 4 episodes left, and not everybody's surviving the show. We know that. Not everyone's living. So we're just going to go down a list. Who lives, who dies? First off, Isaiah. Go.
Who lives, who dies? I would say... It's going to be a wild one right here, but I would say Hank would live still. He would still live. However, I think his wife, I forgot her name, I don't care, would die. Sky would die. Pretty much half the people who's not involved in the whole big Hank and Walter war will pretty much die. So it'll be pretty much Hank and Walter at the end. That's how I see it.
Okay, all right. I respect that. All right, Johann, who lives, who dies?
I think I think they're all gonna die. I think both I think both Jesse and Walt are both gonna die. I think there's a big possibility of Hank dying. I think there's a high possibility of a lot of the main characters dying in the end. That's just my opinion, because there's this whole build up now. There's this whole build up now with Todd and his uncle, and we've seen how they take care of things. So.
Okay. All right. Matt, you're up. Who lives? Who dies?
Hank, Marie, Walt Jr. They all live.
Hank, Marie, Walt Jr. Okay.
I'm still going with the theory. This is my actual speculation that it's going to end in a Scarface-like situation where Walt is just shooting up everybody, shooting up the entire fucking DEA. Caesar Milan or whatever his name is. He's dead. Like, the whole DEA agency, dead. Hank somehow survives and ends up being the overall winner in the Hank versus Walt. Just because he happened to survive.
What the writing, though?
Interesting. All right, Todd, last but not least, lives and dies. Go.
Well, by the way, on that Ryzen, I think the Ryzen is for Ryzen is for someone else, and I think the gun is for potentially the DEA or Todd's people. But lives and dies, it's one of two things. Either everybody dies except for Walt, and because his cancer is good, and that is like the ultimate, that's the final reward for him, is that everything he knows and loves is dead, but he's still living, and he's got all this empire. Or only Walt dies in the same way that he was saying with the Scarface, just like Scarface. That Walt will die like that, but his family will be safe. Probably Hank will be safe, because I really think that gun's going for different elements. The only thing they've told us is that there will be other elements coming into play, coming at Walt. And that hasn't really happened yet. A little bit with Lydia, a little bit with that operation going on with Todd, but do we really think that they're just telling us, oh, look, Todd took over a meth lab? This has all got a reason for it.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what that goes back to what that's what I just like I said before. We have all this build up now with Todd and his uncle, And,
yeah, I think Todd and his uncle.
And we see how volatile they are. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got one more thing to add on.
Oh, go for it.
I think Marie is actually going to try and kill somebody, maybe Walt. And I think she is going to miss. I think she's going to get the wrong person, and I think she's going to kill one of her own blood relations. So either Skyler or Walt.
Oh,
that would make a lot of sense. I think you're right on that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Like Marie tries to take out Walt and instead ends up getting Skyler?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, yeah, I can see that very much.
That would be interesting. One of our viewers also has a little bit of a wild speculation. Antonio says his wild speculation is that Todd is going to kill both Hank and Jesse.
Right.
I
can see that.
I would kind of agree with that. Definitely, at least they're going to have a part in his death.
I would really just love to see. I would really just love to see Hank and Walt and Jesse have a good old fashioned standoff. I think that would be awesome.
I don't think he can kill Hank because that would make the ending.
No, I meant Walt, not Hank. I meant Walt. I corrected myself. I don't know if you heard me. I'm sorry. No, I meant Walt and Jesse. I think it'd be really cool to see Walt and Jesse have a final standoff.
Could I say not me? I would rather not. I would rather it not be Walt and Jesse. Like, I want it to be Walt and Hank, and then Walt and his family, because he's got to kill Hank. He's gotta, otherwise he's going to friggin' jail, and that's gonna have major ramifications on his family. And
exactly.
Well, it's like, I mean, up until this episode, I would have agreed with you. It's like I would have said that without Hank, this entire investigation would have fallen apart and been done. It's like all they need to do was to kill Hank, and everything would have been copacetic, which was true until this episode, because now Gomez knows too.
But did he tell anybody? Is it just the two of them, and they're not bringing it in yet? Because maybe Gomez is being a friend.
Doesn't matter. All killing Hank would do would be prove everything right, and then Gomez would not stop.
So yeah,
exactly. And unlike Hank, And unlike Hank, Gomez does not have the issue where, oh, this is my brother-in-law and I've been around him for this long and I didn't know. Gomez wouldn't have that problem. He'd have no trouble going to the DEA and getting the full weight of them on it.
Oh, he has his
but-
loyalty.
Right.
He has his loyalty to Hank. His
Yeah, but
loyalty
like,
to Hank can stop that. You know.
But if Hank is dead,
Right.
that's no longer an issue. That's
Oh,
what
if Hank is dead.
Right.
Yeah, well then Walt just kills them both. Puts some Ryzen in the coffee machine at the DEA.
Yeah. There you go.
yeah.
Well, hey, remember, here's a wild speculation. Remember in the beginning of the first episode, you see Walt going into the house and getting the ricin?
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's what happens. Maybe he's planning on poisoning a mass amount of people.
That's not
Plague.
explodes too, right? It explodes too, if I'm not mistaken, right? You can make a bomb or a poison with the Ryzen, or no?
Not by itself.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No, you can make a bomb that disperses ricin.
Yeah, but with that little tiny amount, that would be pointless. It's like, I mean, it would go into the air. The parts per million wouldn't be enough to give somebody a mild cough, let alone kill them.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was in a
What did he
small
blow?
room.
What was that little bit of stuff he blew up that drug dealer's place with in the
That was
first or second season?
fulminated mercury.
Yeah, that
And
was
now it's Tuco, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
Tuco.
That was very risky, then. Very, very risky.
Yeah. That was fucking awesome.
That
All right. Anyone have anything else before we wrap things up?
Nope.
Pancakes.
Forever.
Pancakes.
Oh, Yeller.
I can't argue with that. Pancakes are awesome.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Be sure to catch us back here next week for our continued discussion on Breaking Bad, episode 513. We only got 4 episodes left. Things are going to get down to the nitty-gritty. You can always find us at geeksitaround.com for that. If you have anything for us, feel free to email us, geeksitaround@gmail.com. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the new YouTube channel, youtube.com/geeksitaround. My name is DeAno Jackson, and we will see you next week.